And what qualities do you think it takes to be a good CIO?
I think the qualities that need in CIO are changing. Particularly the digital age is forcing us to reappraise, I think, what we would traditionally have thought much more based around technology, to understanding actually the wider impact as our businesses are changing. Certainly Hillo's is changing. Digital age is affecting us in a whole gamut of ways, and helping the business make the strategy changes needed for that and implement those, I think, is where that CIO role comes in very largely. And understanding also the dynamic with a CMO, who those two people need to work much more closely together probably than they've ever done as we address the challenges to our business.
And what do you think your biggest challenge has been so far?
I think there are a number of challenges. I think helping the IT function understand how its role within the business is changing, helping the business understand how IT is also trying to change to compensate. Because if one person's changing and the other person still is viewing it the way they always have done, you don't get that engagement. And making sure that the engagement between IT and the business is much more closely, that partnership we've always talked about but often has eluded us is really happening. That IT is getting involved in conversations in the business much earlier than it would have done traditionally. Those are all key parts of that change.
What do you consider your biggest achievement?
I think the most recent projects that Hillo's done around enterprise mobile and really streamlining our business, helping the business to grow sales with a self-employed workforce, that's a complex dynamic, but really using technology and leveraging it in a mobile way is probably the biggest change, not just technology-wise, but culturally, that we've done in a long time, and I'm very proud of that.
What's your next big goal, either personally or professionally?
I think professionally, we've made some changes, moving to an agile development and project methodology, and actually seeing that push much more widely out into the function and then into the business. I think gives us real opportunity, particularly making us more agile to compete in a modern industry sector. That's where I want to make sure that we don't stop where we've got to, but we push that much further.
What's the most useful piece of careers advice you've ever received?
I think that would be about continuing to develop your skills and your knowledge. It's very easy to think I've reached a certain level and I don't need to move myself on. Certainly what we need to do more recently in terms of moving to Agile has absolutely blown the gap on that. So people who think, actually, I don't need to learn anymore, it's particularly if you're in IT, it's part of the game. And if you're not there, in my view, you're not in IT.
What careers advice would you pass on to other people?
I think careers advice in terms of people interested in technology is to make sure that they don't focus on that at the exclusion of business. I came through an engineering background into IT, and that's always given me an end user and a business perspective, which I think is important. And I think whatever role you're playing within IT, understanding the business, understanding how real people are trying to work with the technology you give them is very valuable and really important.
How do you see the role of CIO changing?
I think the way that businesses are looking to technology is changing. It's becoming much more part of the furniture, and therefore the CIO just focusing on technology and systems and not on information, not on corporate change and cultural change. I think that's where it's changing. So much more, certainly within our business, IT is seen as the function that is the engine of a lot of our change programs, not just our technology programs. So I think seeing that bigger piece, and also making sure that we're playing a bigger role in guiding the business rather than just responding to the changes the business thinks it wants to make.
What's the best route into the CIO role today?
I think the best route into the CIO role, the people I see doing that most successfully are often people who've had a significant spell outside of IT in business. So I think it's very difficult to go straight up the CIO role, staying purely within IT. Now sometimes that's business facing or project roles in IT as you go through, but making sure that people have got that breadth. It's hard to be part of that change that's going to come with CIOs if you've only spent your time within a pure IT function.
Is a technical background necessary?
I don't think a technical background is necessary, but I do think a technical bent helps very significantly. So you do see CIOs that are very successful without much of a technical background, but often there's still there's an interest, there's interest in technology that they can take advantage of it. It's not necessarily, but I think it helps significantly. I certainly have.